Owen always had a strange but accurate way of looking at things. He observed, for instance, that if it were not for the invention of recreational alcohol like beer, wine, and Jägermeister, there would be far less sex, little politics, and no religion at all. It might be true that all of these endeavors are best practice without being under the influence, but humans seem to be incapable, as a group, to do so with much success. One reason for this, Owen believed, was that we seem to love the romantic ideal of ignorance as a virtue. We love the pleasure of not knowing things and the excitement of not being responsible for our actions, and then living with the negative consequences for extreme lengths of time. We just love to suffer for our ignorance. And what better way to continually enjoy this pain than by passing it on to our spawn and the spawn of others, by keeping them as ignorant as the previous generation. Owen thought, though, that if we truly hated our children, we would take this pleasure away from them and actually have them educated in the topics of which we most enjoy being ignorant. Owen proposes that from now on, we have courses in high school that teach responsible and skillful drinking, foreplay, and intercourse. The current socially acceptable, or as Owen would put it, fad solution, is the senseless and cheap solution implemented during the Reagan's years. What other kind of program would Republicans devise? Of just say no, or the total abstinence silliness. These ridiculous ideas sound wonderful to well-meaning people who are suffering either from severe cases of Alzheimer's disease, self-righteous blindness, or overreactive indifference. The basis of all the current ideas are to keep the kids ignorant. What they don't know won't hurt them. Ignore problems and they will go away. The world is evil, don't participate, go to the extreme, ban, censor, and pass laws that are unenforceable so that law enforcement and government will lose credibility. These are the typical solutions of the far right. This is not to demean the efforts of law enforcement and those who have suffered losses. To the contrary, Owen's plan would dramatically reduce the prison population, teen pregnancy, drinking and driving, conservative voting, the need for the fearful to keep guns, and belief based upon fear and ignorance. Owen proposes, and he knows this is radical, knowledge. Yes, Owen believes that if kids were taught at school, because parents have obviously dropped the ball at home, how to drink properly, responsibly, and moderately, how to have sex correctly and frequently with an appropriate mate, and how to show their appreciation for the gift of life by enjoying it rather than avoiding it and living for the hereafter, they, unlike all previous generations, would live happily and fulfilled lives. Owen further proposes that these courses be required for graduation and entrance into society. They should always be held on Friday, and, in order to participate, the students must be passing all of their classes. As a teacher, Owen guarantees 100% participation and 100% passing grades in any school providing this curriculum. Under the Owen plan, what need would a boy or girl have to sneak out with the guys on the weekend? After Friday's classes, they would all have to be poured out of the buses in desperate need of rest and recuperation that Saturday morning. Knowledge would take the mystery away, and practice would take away the guesswork. The citizens of this new society would be far more well-adjusted than their predecessors. Who would be foolish enough to commit a crime and end up in a prison in a society filled with well-adjusted, sexually promiscuous, and adept citizens? As Owen always says, only the unloved and repressed have a reason to rebel. Sexually satisfied people never commit crimes. Also, any man who is having sex and doesn't brag about it isn't having sex. And any woman who is having sex doesn't have to brag about it. Everybody already knows.